The return of serve is the second most important shot in tennis. Every time your opponent serves, you start the point off with a return. And if that return is weak, you start the point off on defense. Or even worse, if you miss that return, you lose the point right away. Now, I believe that the return of serve is under-practiced and very few players realize how important the return of serve actually is. When was the last time you went out on the court specifically to practice your return? Now, a lot of players practice the serve, but for some reason very few players practice the return. So today's video is the first video in a new 3-part series where I'm going to teach you some of the most important aspects in order to hit effective return of serves. Now, I'm very excited about this because I believe that the return of serve is a huge opportunity for you to improve your game. Now, today in the first video, I want to share a concept with you that I like to call the ultimate return key. What is the ultimate return key? Returns are all about depth, okay? Not about power. Depth is really what's crucial. If you can get that ball close to the baseline here, it does not matter what speed you hit that return with, okay? If you can get that ball deep, you are going to at least start the point off neutral, okay? Most likely you're going to be able to hit an offensive shot even if you hit a slow return, but if it lands really deep, most likely afterwards you can hit an offensive shot. So it's all about depth. Now, if you watch some of the best returners in the world, like Novak Djokovic nowadays, or before him, Andre Agassi, you will see that they would return that ball deep almost every single time, okay? It's all about depth. Now, how do you get depth on your return of serve? You may have heard about the short backswing on the return of serve, okay? So you don't want to take a huge backswing, you want to have a short backswing. You've probably heard about that, and that is correct, okay? But that's not going to give you depth. And then you maybe have also heard about this concept of blocking the return, okay? So if it's a block, then it looks like this, okay? And that's actually not correct unless you're returning a super fast serve to the body. But for almost all returns, that is not correct. And if you try to block the return, then you're not going to get depth on your returns. So the real key here is to have a long and high follow through, okay? What does that mean? If I'm standing here to return, okay, I go into my split step, I turn, and now I go for a long and high follow through. I swing that racket way out here, okay, way out in front of the body towards the target, and then way up like this, and on the forehand side I'm going to catch it right here. A long and high follow through. That will give you depth on your returns, and that will put you in an offensive position after the return, okay? On the one-handed backhand return, it would look like this. So again, split step, short backswing, and now long and high follow through right here. That hand is way up there in front of the body. I'm swinging towards the target, the other side of the net, okay? Two-handed backhand return, same concept right here, okay? Split step, turn, and now long and high follow through, just like that. All right, let's take a look at that in super slow motion.
Okay, so let's take a look at the forehand return first. I go into my split step, and right here we can see that I have a short backswing, and from here that racket is going to travel forward and upward to the target, which is really what we're trying to accomplish with that long and high follow through. This kind of a swing path will give us depth on these returns. Take a close look at this position right here. My racket and hitting hand went way out to the target, forward, away from the body. As you can see here with the green arrow, there's distance between my body and the hitting hand and racket, and that's what I consider a long follow through. Now we can also already see that the hitting hand and racket are up very high. I'm going to let the clip run here into the final finish position. And right here you can see that that racket and hitting hand are above eye level, and that is the high finish position right here. Okay, let's take a look at the same thing on the one-handed topspin return. From this position, the swing is going to be forward and upward, which is what we're trying to accomplish with that long and high follow through. Take a look here how far in front of the body my hitting hand and racket are, and we can also see how high this position is. This position is even higher than on the forehand return. This is above the head. Last but not least, let's take a look at the same thing on the two-handed backhand topspin return. From here, I'm going to swing forward and upward, which is what we're trying to accomplish with that long and high follow through, and that is going to give us depth on the return. So once again, we see a very long follow through. As you can see, the hitting hand is way out in front of the body. We can also clearly see that the hands are up very high right here at around eye level, and as we continue the clip, they're going even higher right here.
So how can you practice this long and high follow through to get depth for your returns? Now, generally, to practice your returns, a lot of players are wondering, how can I practice my returns? Do I need a coach? Do I need a practice partner? Yes, it helps to have a coach or a practice partner, but you can always practice with shadow swings. And in fact, everything I do when I work on technique, we start with shadow swings. And that's what you need to do when you want to work on your technique, okay? So the first step is to work on this with shadow swings, isolating what you want to work on. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate right now. So if I'm practicing my forehand return, okay, I'm going into the split step, turn, and now I go for that long and high follow through. And what I would like you to do with that shadow swing is hold the finish at the end. And as you can see, my hand is way out in front of the body, okay? My elbow is away from the body as well. That means I got extension, that means I did swing towards the target, and I'm also finishing up high like this. And when you hold at the end, you check and make sure that you're in that position, okay? The common mistake is to be somewhere in here and to be too close and too low, okay? So let me do a couple of those. Forehand return, split, long follow through, and finish up high just like that. And then you practice that over and over, okay? Just like that. And the same concept on the one-handed backhand return, shadow swing, and hold the finish, and you can see that hand is way out in front of my body right here. That's what you want to work on, and it also should be up high, okay? On the two-handed return, same concept, long and high follow through, you hold the finish, and then you release. So you can practice your returns really well just with these shadow swings, and you can improve a lot with that. Now, of course, it would make sense to find a practice partner in the next step and then go out and practice with a partner. I tend to see a lot of players going out on the court with a basket practicing their serve, but for some reason almost never is there a partner that practices their return. So simply go out, ask somebody if they want to practice their serve, and then you have a chance to practice your returns and can really improve that way. All right, so much for this tip. Now, I would really like you to go out on the court, give this a try, and then after you've tried it out, I would appreciate it if you can come back here to this video on this page and post a comment underneath and let me know if and how this worked to you. I'd really appreciate that. Now, in the next few days, you will receive video number 2 in this series, so make sure you check your inbox for that.